Hello and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host Bryan. We're going to do a creator request, which is where a smaller band gets in contact with me and asks for me to check out their work. We're going to be looking at a band we have had on the channel before called Valcata. I couldn't find the email or social media notification or any of it. I don't know how I got contacted for this, but I'm really excited to dig into this. They released this track like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. And I'm excited to dig back into them. Last time they were on the channel, I praised the way that they mixed classical and metal elements, and I'm super excited to see how they are expanding on the ideas that they showcased last time. So let's dig into this. This is Paralyzed by Valcata. I really like that ethereal piano in the back. Very cool having that left hand vocal come in to accent the end of that line. Yeah, layer in the bass under that. Yeah, the drive of the drums and guitar with the violin over top. Yeah, love that layering the vocals. I love that descent. Oh. even what 3 minutes in, they're still showcasing variety, potential. Interesting. I would have loved to hear more of that choir-esque vocal work elsewhere in the track. I think we had a little bit of it in the beginning, and we ended it, of course, with it. Um, yeah, so here's the thing. This is a solid track. Okay, we have nice contrast between our two vocal styles. Our clean vocals, we actually have two more of a poppy forward placed one, and then more of the operatic. I don't think we ever had a full operatic vocal. It was just closer to the back. The sound was placed closer to the back of the mouth. Um, we have the nice divide between that texture based guitar writing, more about those the riffs, the texture of the riff itself, and the guitar tone more so than the notes selected, versus the string work, our harp and our violin, and really focusing on melody lines and chordal structures, note relationships, that more classical style of composition there. So we have that contrast as well. Um, and it's just great writing from start to finish. I really enjoyed all of this. But see, the thing is though, is that there were moments here where I got these glimmers, sorry, these glimpses of potential that weren't leaned into, they weren't expanded on. The choir at the end, like I really could use more of that. And I understand. Here's the thing too, is that songs call for specific things at specific times. Maybe the choir doesn't fit elsewhere in the track lyrically. Maybe it doesn't fit there musically, and maybe you tried to include it elsewhere and it didn't work out. But I'm so stoked to get the rest of the album. If the album's out, I don't. Do you guys have an album? This is a single. Okay. I got I gotta look real quick. So we have a debut album from 2019. We have Tower, which was a single, which I think is what we checked out last time earlier in the year. Now we have Paralyzed, a single that came out a couple weeks ago. I think I'm gonna have to check out your debut. I do. I mean, I know it was, 4 years ago, give or take. I don't know when in 2019 it was released, but um, the thing is that I keep hearing these little glimpses of ideas, like the semi compressed or the compressed semi harsh that our female vocalist leaned into at the end of the final chorus. Started to get a little bit of that grit in there. I was like, oh, this is interesting, where is this going to go? And then it just didn't go anywhere. I would love to hear more of that. And maybe the vocalist is still working on that technique. um, I don't know why it wasn't utilized in the rest of it. The choir, any sort of vocal layering. We got very little dual vocal lines in here, which I remember from Tower. Um, I remember that there was more layered vocal work on Tower. I think it's been a year since we checked out Tower, so I might be misremembering that. Um, but like I said, it's these little glimpses of elevating this from, I don't want to say typical symphonic metal, because I do think you guys are ramping it up a little bit in the instrumental composition area. But just to take it to the next level, like right now, you guys are like at an 8.5. Let's bring it up to that 9, that 9.5. with more vocal work, more vocal variation to it, because instrumentally, and I think this is what I want to focus on positively, is that instrumentally, I have no criticisms for this at all. I have no critiques, just praise. Uh, the guitar riffs are meaty and punchy throughout. It would be cool to occasionally hear some of the melodic work get put into the guitars, because we do hear the string work kind of shift over to a pedal tone idea at one place. So they kind of took over the guitars area. The guitars never really take over the vocal area, I mean the string area, the classical bits. I think that would be cool. You guys have a really punchy guitar tone, um, and like I get that maybe it's not the best for a lead melody, but the nice thing about guitar tones is you can tweak them. You get a nice lead tone out of it, and give it a violin line while the violin takes one of your guitar lines. Again, potential. You kind of went in that direction with the violins. You just didn't fully swap out the roles like that. I just the thing is that, like I was saying, the guitars have this nice meaty tone, lots of great riffs on it, beautiful string work above it. The violins, the cellos, the harps, all of it. Just the classical angle in the strings is phenomenal. It's exactly what I want to hear when I think of symphonic metal. This is the type of classical composition I want to hear pulled into the metal realm, rather than just metal with some strings that are written like another guitar. And I'm pretty sure I praised this for Tower as well. This is uh, I saw the comment from the composer, was it? Like, 'cause I'm trying to remember like a year ago. I talked to somebody from Valcata after I did the reaction, and yeah, just like I think it was the composer, might have been. Anyways, I'm enamored by this style that you guys have musically, with the instruments. It is 100% what I want to hear merging classical and metal. And you guys nail the layering, the chord progressions. You bring in these beautiful Renaissance chords in here. Absolutely love it. Especially that descending line that you gave the vocalist that one time. I mean, just yes, 100%. I love the nuanced classical take in a lot of this. All of it's so good. I just want to hear it mesh with the metal a little bit more, rather than just classical writing with a meaty metal riff underneath it. Let's start mixing things up, right? Give metal stuff to the strings, give classical stuff to the guitars. Really get, because the thing is, we already have, I think, an electric violin in here, right? With an ebow, possibly. Um, so we already are trying to merge that grittier, distorted sound into the classical work. Just let the guitars do some of that too, if they can. I don't know the skill levels of everybody. That's certainly something as a composer you need to take into account, is what your performers can do. I don't know if the composer is actually one of the performers in the band or not. Maybe it's an external composer, which would be very cool. That'd be one of the first times I've heard of that. That is something I've always kind of personally dreamed of. I don't have the skill really to be in a metal band, other than to play the simple stuff, right? I'm a composer first, performer second. And so I've always thought, it'd be really cool to have a band that I could write for, and they would go and perform it and stuff. But that just isn't something that happens in metal. So I don't know if you guys do that. That would be really cool though. Um, so I think I've touched on the instrumental stuff as much as I want to. Um, just the layers, man. Oh, there was that one part. I think it was violin and oh no, it's harp and bass. That was a beautiful combination. It's those the voice pairings that you do. That's just great. I mean, it's everything, right? All the instrumental work is so good. And I don't want to make the vocalist, the harsh and the clean vocalist, think that they're being excluded at all. I've already talked about how I love the vocal lines and the vocal placement, both the forward place pop and the one that's more operatic, and mixing those two and getting that slightly compressed yell at the end. Like, there's a lot of vocal variety going on from our lead vocalist, and I absolutely love that. The growls are very clean and enunciated. I have to give praise to that. I could hear words coming out of our harsh vocalist, which is unusual for me. Some of that I think is going to be production, but a lot of that is on the performance of proper enunciation of syllables and just very clear mouth shapes to create these syllables that are very clearly heard. Um, yeah, the vocal work, there's a ton that goes into that. Um, and of course, our lead vocalist has lead melody through a lot of times, so she is participating in a lot of the counterpoint and lead melody playing. She's also participating in a lot of the melody layering as well, texture layering, just present throughout a lot of the track. So yeah, I think I'm just like blown. I need to listen to it again. There's a lot going on. Like usually I'll take this moment and I'll like break down section by section, but I really can't do that here. The music is too deep for me to remember much more than just specific moments that stood out to me rather than remembering the song as a whole. But I'm blown away by this. I got to go back and check Tower out again, and I'm going to check out your debut album as well. Self-title, it looks like. And see what's going on there, but yeah, just everything is solid except for, a couple of those experimental ideas I suggested. If you don't do them, you're still like an 8.5. I told you, you guys are still a solid band. Continue doing what you're doing. As I tell everybody, Valcata, if you're watching this, if you like the music you're producing, keep doing it. If you like my suggestions, try to work them in. If you tried my suggestions already and they just don't mesh with your style, whatever. Keep doing what you're doing. It's working. Um, my suggestions are again just like small tweaks to kind of push you guys over and take the style you already have and just like push into that next level. It's the small tweaks that are gonna have the big impacts now. I'm gonna take a second to look at some lyrics, go over that real quick, and we'll wrap this up. So this is neat. I don't know who the lyricist is on this, but so the core concept here appears to be battling an inability to take a step in your own life, to start your own projects, to be the person who you think you can be but aren't today, right? The very first stanza, I think, states this clearly. It says, "Destiny burns in me. I know who I was born to be. I'm the god of my existence. How is there so much still in my way? All night and day I'm paralyzed. There's things that keep me from being my best self." It doesn't really go into, or at least I didn't pick up on any ideas that go into what exactly these hurdles are. They could be internal hurdles, mental or emotional uh, things that need to be overcome, or external hurdles. But this person feels trapped in the life that they're in now. It's not the life that they want to be. But what's really cool, this isn't like some super rare topic, right? This is actually a pretty common topic I've heard, especially these days, with so many once in a lifetime bad things happening month after month. Uh, but what's really cool is the way that it's phrased, the vocabulary used. There's a lot of elements in here that fit the air of the classical idea. The harp being used creates specific visuals, and the words seem to line up with that as well. We talked one time, candles dim on a chandelier, a castle wanders so rarely near, so abandoned in its rhyme that I'm only ever to hear. We move into this, it says, it burns in me, going back to the idea of destiny. The melting wick, the jealousy. It's goes on to say that the way I'll be known is as a clone to be forgotten, like a phantom. Phantom, wicks, chandeliers, castles, like this all evokes a very specific visual that to me fits right up there with the visuals that the string work is presenting to me as well. And in such, they have found a way to speak about this common topic of feeling stuck in a rut, wanting to move on to the next part of your life but can't, and utilizing vocabulary that fits with the musical themes, but still having the metaphors properly set to talk about this topic. It's a perfect combination, I think, of pairing sound and vocabulary to strengthen both of them. They both help support what the other is doing. Just very well done. I wouldn't say there's anything in the music that specifically speaks to being paralyzed. I'm trying to think of like rhythmic motifs that we might have explored that would lean into this. Um, but I don't think there were any like slowed down sections, no fermatos or retardandos or like triplets that would stretch out a sound. I don't think we had anything of that. There wasn't anything in here that was really harsh stops. Um, so I wouldn't say that there were any musical ideas that lean into the idea of being paralyzed. Um, but the lyrical choice and the instrumental choice, as well as the chordal choices and key and everything that goes into crafting the sound of the music, I mean, this just synergizes so well. So, yeah, beautiful. Love that. Those are my thoughts on Valcata's Paralyzed. Blown away again. I don't know why I didn't check them out after Tower. I think they were on my list, but 2022 has been a year for releases. There has been so much music I haven't gotten around to still. The list just keeps growing. But this song pushes it higher up on the list. I'm hoping sometime next year I get to check out their older works, and hopefully they'll have a new album out soon. No rush. You guys take your time doing it, but I'm looking forward. This is where y'all come in. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this. Anything that stood out to you. Anything you'd like to discuss or expand upon what I stated. Let me know. Above the comment section is a description box. In there will be a link for everything Valcata. You can check out their social medias, their streaming platforms, etc., etc. Everything you need will be there. Above the description box, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Make sure you send them love wherever you go. Like, subscribe to their page, favorite them, heart them, whatever, Yeah, that wraps it up for today. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. UTC. As usual, we'll continue on with two more creator requests, and then we're completely caught up, which is pretty neat. With any luck, when bands are like, hey, I have a single coming out in 2 weeks, and you want to line up on that? I'll be like, yeah, I could do that now. I'm not 3 months behind on this. So I'm excited about that. All right, until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.